Scott Lee Peterson is a former agriculture chemical salesman, convicted of the murder of his pregnant wife, Laci Peterson, and their unborn child, which in California is treated as murder. On December 23 or 24, 2002, Peterson murdered his wife, Laci, while she was 8 months pregnant with their unborn child, who was due on February 10, 2003, who was to be named Connor. The exact date and cause of death for Laci and Connor were never determined. He initially reported her missing on Christmas Eve, and the story quickly attracted nationwide media interest. Modesto police did not immediately identify Scott Peterson as a suspect, largely because Laci's family and friends maintained their faith in his innocence during the month following her disappearance. Scott claimed that he had been fishing at the Berkeley Marina at the time of the disappearance, which turned out to be near the area where the bodies of his wife and unborn son were later recovered. Eventually, police grew more suspicious due to inconsistencies in his story. On January 17, 2013, it became known that he had numerous extramarital affairs, most recently with a massage therapist named Amber Frey. Frey was a key witness in the case because she agreed to tape their phone conversations secretly, in hopes of getting him to confess. However, Peterson did not confess to Frey, or to any other person. He not only claimed innocence in numerous tapes, but even questioned Frey about her possible involvement. On April 14, the body of an infant boy with umbilical cord washed ashore at the San Francisco Bay, followed on the next day by a partial female torso missing its hands, feet, and head, which was later identified as Laci's. Autopsies were performed, but due to decomposition, the specific method of death was never determined. Some prosecutors and people from the media speculated that Laci may have been suffocated or strangled. The FBI and Modesto Police Department forensic searches of the couple's home, Scott's truck, the toolbox in the back of his truck, his warehouse and his boat, only turned up one piece of forensic evidence, a single hair. Peterson was arrested on April 18, 2003, in La Jolla, California, in the parking lot of the Torrey Pines Golf Course, where he said he was meeting his father, brother, and Zach O'Regan for a game of golf. At the time of his arrest, Peterson was in possession of the following non-golf specific items: approximately $15,000 in cash, 4 cell phones, multiple credit cards belonging to various members of his family, an array of camping equipment, including knives, implements for warming food, tents and tarpaulins, and also a water purifier, a dozen pairs of shoes, several changes of clothing, a T-handled double-edged dagger, a MapQuest map to Frey's workplace, printed the previous day, a shovel, rope, 24 blister packs of sleeping pills, Viagra, and his brother's driver's license. The trial began in June 2004 and was followed closely by the media. The lead prosecutor was Rick Distaso, and Mark Dragos led Peterson's defense. Peterson's defense lawyers based his case on the lack of direct evidence, and downplaying the significance of circumstantial evidence. They suggested that the remains of the fetus were that of a full-term infant, and theorized that someone else had kidnapped Laci, held her until she gave birth, and then dumped both bodies in the bay. However, the prosecution's medical experts were able to prove that the baby had never grown to full term, and died at the same time as his mother. Dragos suggested that a satanic cult kidnapped the pregnant woman. He also claimed that Peterson was a cad for cheating on his pregnant wife, but not a murderer. The penalty phase of the trial began on November 30 and concluded December 13, when at 1:50 p.m. PST, the 12-person jury recommended a death sentence for Peterson. On March 16, 2005, Judge Alfred Delucchi, formally sentenced Scott Peterson to death, calling the murder of his wife cruel, uncaring, heartless and callous. The prescribed method of execution was lethal injection. He also denied the defense's request for a new trial, which was based on evidence of juror misconduct and media influence, and ordered Peterson to pay $10,000 towards his wife's funeral. On March 17, 2005, Scott Peterson arrived at the notorious San Quentin State Prison. There, from death row, he can overlook, every day, the bay where Laci's body was disposed.